Hi, I'm Steven. Welcome back to my channel. I have this 235mm f1.4 lens for a long time, which is the Nikon AI-S 35mm f1.4, and this one, Leica 35mm f1.4 Pre-A. These two lenses have long history. The Nikon was introduced in 1969. The Leica was from earlier before, from 1960. With the first edition, but this one is the second version, maybe third version, whatever. Both Nikon and Leica will come from before the spherical era. I have used this Leica shoot a lot and also make some content on YouTube channel. You can check them. But this Nikon 35 1.4, I use it not too much. Just put in a dry cabinet for a long time. So I think, why not do a video to compare them? Let we see how the images look, and that will be pretty interesting. Price of both these two lenses are huge different. I remember this Nikon lens cost me maybe 40,000 Japanese yen in 10 years ago maybe. And this one, this Leica 35 f1.4, about 6 times to the Nikon, I remember. 240,000 Japanese yen. I remembered it. Maybe now they are rise up again. I don't know. I haven't checked it since Leica become an investment product. I do believe this Nikon 35 not bad at all for shooting. From non-AI, AI and AI-S version, they hadn't changed too much. Now take a look at this lens for a moment. It's pretty heavier and bigger than other Nikon prime lenses. Damping field is a little bit heavier. Damping field, let we compare other one, this one. 50mm f1.2. This one is also a very heavier and pretty bigger. Also, it with same damping field. It's heavier. Quite slowly when you're focusing. These two Nikon lenses used more thicker glasses, I believe. And this 35 actually is a 9-element lens, yes. 9 elements in 7 groups. Other Nikon lens with 9 elements is that 28mm f2. Both are 9 elements lens. It's amazing. Looks more glasses be used means this lens more better quality and more high cost, right? But Nikon doesn't. Still quite a cheaper price. And this Leica 35 is very small lens. It is a 7 elements lens in maybe 5 groups. It was the fastest wide angle lens in 1960. And it is still the smallest f1.4 lens in any focal lens. And pretty lighter. It's so much easy for using it smaller and also with f1.4 aperture. That's the great things. For the comparison of these two lenses, I think, since they all from the different era, the film era, so I think I should compare them on film, not digital cameras. I also didn't do very seriously compare them in same aperture and also the center and the corner, the image quality. I don't want to do that. That will be pretty boring, I think. I just put some black and white film in these two cameras and take them out and shooting. When I'm shooting, I take the same images with two cameras, two lenses as I can. So you can see how different about these two lenses. Okay, let's get started. The Nikon 35 coming first. I used the Nikon f3 camera with this lens. Now comes its Leica lens with a M6 rangefinder camera. Look, this image seems Nikon with more sharpness and more contrast, right? But just a little bit of difference. Actually, the performance of these two lenses is very close. I was said in my previous video, this is a Nikon lens that most closely resembles a Leica lens. Both lenses all have a little bit of dreamy look when wide open to f1.4. Some information on the internet shows these two lenses will have vignetting, and this Leica is more serious. Yes, it does have obvious vignetting, but Nikon doesn't so obvious even when wide open, although I do love a little bit vignetting. This Leica 35 have a famous name, the Leica Glow, because its dreamy look when wide open. When you're shooting someone, sometimes it may give you some unexpected, beautiful look. But I found this Nikon also dreamy, but I never heard any beautiful name for this lens, such as Leica. Doesn't share a similar reputation. That's unfair. Bokeh of these two lenses, they all stunning. However, the closest focusing distance are different. The Leica only, the closest distance is 1 meter, just 1 meter. But the Nikon, it can close to 30 centimeters. Yes, very close. It's quite hard to focusing precisely because the depths of field are pretty narrow, and also this focusing ring it's slowly move because the damping field is more, a little bit heavier. Yes, I think it's one of the pretty hard focusing lens in any Nikon AI-S. However, although it will give you a very narrow depth of field when wide open, but the focusing area are still sharp. Look, this picture, I get wrong focusing just maybe 1 centimeter. Yes, it's very hard, especially for shooting people, the moving subject. But you can see this area is pretty sharper and details. But this Leica is another story. actually is Leica camera, not Leica lens. It will be adjusted when you're using a rangefinder to getting closer to shooting at people. Mostly depend on your lucky. The rangefinder camera, the focusing is always approximation, I think. When you're using a SLR camera, you still can judge from the screen. The screen, clear or not, you can judge it. But for rangefinder camera, that's not happened. Whatever. Some pictures from masters, they were absolutely wrong focusing, but still be seen great pictures, right? Now take a look at the anti-flare. As we know, the most weakness of Leica lens is anti-flare. And this Nikon was much better. If we compare it with a modern lens, I do believe it's still bad, but much better than Leica. For the highlight protection, I think both lenses are almost the same. I found some shots in these few rows, the Nikon was blown out. But when I intentionally take some overexposure shot, I found that both lenses almost the same, the light highlights protection. What do you think about these two lenses? The images. I would say for basic standard of camera lenses, the Nikon is the winner. It's sharper even when wide open, and it's have more contrast, and with its better anti-flare. So I think if you want a 35 f1.4 lens and also you are a Nikon film camera user, this 35 f1.4 definitely you should have, right? It was the amazing one in that different era. It can bring us some warmer feels, because it's with some flaws. Just like you listening a vinyl, not a digital sound. It was the leader of its time, I think. Of course, you can pay more for a Leica glass. With its low contrast and softer image quality, it have more flaws than the Nikon, but the images looks smoother, more moist, that kind of softened beauty, right? If we can see this Nikon 35 like you listening vinyl records, right? But for this Leica lens, I would say you just feel like you are listening a vinyl records with a slightly distorted but sweet sounding tube amplifier. Okay, that's all. Thanks for the watching. See you next time.